All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday morning, September 14th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Nice trade from Felix inside our live trading room just now on this ALT trade. Great to see Felix. Great to see John, Grant, Michael, Mark, Egan, Chris, Catherine. Great to see Frank and all of us live inside the Cyber Group room. Great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube. So, folks, hey, I really want to make this point today, like I always like to do on days like this, where the markets ended up dropping off so much, right? Whether it be from this morning, yesterday, obviously, yesterday morning, coming off the CPI numbers. Hey, obviously, we ended up shorting some stocks. Don't get me wrong, right? The airlines, the cruise lines, a bunch of other stocks that we ended up following from yesterday, the semiconductor stocks like AMD and Intel, Felix, you and NVIDIA. But it's to say that, we're not just following stocks that are moving with the market. There are always going to be opportunities to buy, buying opportunities, whether the stock's coming off of news, good news, or in this case, not. ALT here, at least here in pre-market, seemingly coming off of some sort of bad pharma news. I tried checking the news this morning for this one, but it seemed like, if anything, there's got to be more to it aside from this. There we go. All right, so all I have here really for the most part is ALT shares trading lower after the company announced top-line results from its 12-week phase 1B study, of their drug to test non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So, whatever the study was, I mean, the headline doesn't show it, but there had to have been bad reaction, bad data coming along with it, because we had a horrendous reaction actually shortly after the pre-market opened up early this morning, led to a huge drop down over 60% at one point. Well, hey, it ended up making a nice break back over $8, broke under $8, broke back over $8. And right from that point, it started what we call the dead cat bounce, a short squeeze, however you like to label it as. It ended up making a really nice, trend and run back up as the shorts look to take profits. And, us day traders look to scalp or otherwise look to buy and hold on for the ride as long as it could last. So Felix ended up jumping in and out. He got like $1.50 nearly on his trade, in from 10.13 out at 11.60. Beautiful. We got Frank on ALT. He got a quarter on it earlier. He got out at 10.35. He was in from 10.10. Anyone else in on this trade from earlier? This is not the only stock that we ended up, following this morning on the way up. We had a pretty good pre-market, surprisingly, given, conditions. The BIAF, I know John did pretty well on earlier this morning too. Hey, for right now, ALT, we're going to put this on our main watch list here for the morning. How could we not? The stock is easy to borrow. Look at Chris inside our trading room right now. He's still in, but he's in from 9.31. He held on here and it paid off. So really nice trade from Chris. Hey, as long as it maintains trend, hey, perhaps hold on or look to scale out, if anything, right now. Normally, I'd be taking profits right around 9 to 9:15 Eastern time, just so I have a chance to breathe and relax prior to the market opening up. Hell of a profit, though, and trade from Chris, at least here in our trading room as well. So ALT, we're definitely going to put on our watch list here for the market open. It is easy to borrow on TradeStation here, my platform. So, once it fails to continue to move up higher, it's going to lead to a nice drop. So, I'm definitely interested in this trade. I'm going to look to prep this up once we finish up this meeting. So ALT is moving up pretty nicely for right now. Keyword for right now. You got the BIAF trade, though, and this was beautiful. This couldn't have played out really any better. The only way it could have played out better is if it gave me another chance to add to my position here. So I didn't take advantage of the ALT trade like Felix and Chris did, and Neil on two trades inside our live trading room right now. He ended up getting 81 cents. He ended up getting in from 10.37. Neil, nice grab there. Hey, BIAF, I missed out on ALT myself, but after the BIAF trade had popped up at first, we ended up seeing an iceberg on the bid at 490. So between 490 and $5 to act as a major support level. I was looking for a bounce from there. So it ended up breaking below 5. I got filled on half of my position I was looking to get in on. And from there, it bounced up. Hey, I'll take it. I ended up getting out a little too early on this trade. I ended up taking profits basically right off of the top here, right off of 536. So it ended up, squeezing up a lot more after, but it's a nice cushion to start the morning off with, at least, right? Money's money. With that, though, it pushed up a little bit more, up closer to 6, actually above 6, if I'm not mistaken. And for right now, dragging back down. So, it still shows great activity, at least in pre-market. Hopefully this doesn't do what it did for us back like a week ago. We ended up seeing the stock come off an IPO, but I think it was even on this day, not the first day or two here, but like we were looking for a nice squeeze back up. There was potential. If it wasn't this day, it was this one. And, it just ended up not really making that big run. This was back like a week ago or so, where we ended up seeing all these recent IPOs, make these big drops, then dead cat bounces, MEGL, MGAM. I can go down the list again. But, for right now, at least BIAF, we'll definitely keep this in mind. All right, how to make sure I filled up on water this morning. All right, we are good to go, folks. We ended up doing well on a stock yesterday, given how much the market had dropped off, that being the CMRA trade. CMRA down big this morning in pre-market, but hey, heading into the market close yesterday, popped right once we started the meeting, ended up making this big move as it broke out from like 275, 280, took off very sharply up towards 360, 370, and then later into the close, like by like 315, 330 in the afternoon here, ended up breaking under and back over from 350, and then from there led to the last leg here. So, it just goes to show markets are weak. And I know there's a lot of hesitancy to look to buy, right? But hey, every morning that you're sitting back, at least study, at least realize that there are chances each and every day. Whether stocks coming off of good news, or whether it's just a day trade and the stock's being pumped up by day traders, or people just looking to cover shorts. Whether the stock's coming off of bad news like ALT, I mean, it's down so much. When is it going to bounce? Those are the opportunities that we look for once the stock gets crushed that much, at least. But, otherwise, though, there's opportunities each and every day to get in the market. So, with that, let's see what else we can scan for. We'll go across the percent gainers and losers lists here. And, hey, I'm content enough with ALT and BIAF. We're going to have our hands full with just those two alone. But let's see what else we got. Now, this ADTX could be more of a distraction than anything, I feel. It looks like it made a huge move yesterday, right? I mean, I guess it did. But truth be told, this is coming off of news this morning of a 1-for-50 reverse stock split. So I don't believe we traded this or had called it out yesterday because it was really inexpensive. With that, I mean, hey, it's up big percentage wise this morning. You could say it's, up 51% from yesterday's close. It's going to have a really illiquid order book. It's going to have a huge spread like you see currently. This is going to be more of a distraction to you and myself than anything. Hey, if this runs up to 200, $300, God bless. But, otherwise we see those stocks all the time, not just the ones that go to 200 or 300, the ones that make like a 200-300% move, like, hey, an SPRC, an ALT, a BIAF. ALT technically is down 44% right now, but I could also jump back to the COVID era here and show that ALT is a vaccine stock back in 2020. We ended up trading this. So yeah, this is a former runner as well. All right, so with that, though, let's see what else we can scan for right now. This ADTX, it's up big, trading a lot of volume, but like I'd said, it's more of a distraction to us than anything. Makes our head spin, and the more time that we spend watching that, hesitant to try and think about direction and where it might go, we miss opportunity on stocks like an SPRC that could be a lot easier to read on level 3. So with that, SPRC has been a little flat since the initial pop, but for right now, though, I'm looking to see if this could break back over the VWAP upon the market opening here. So that being off of 115 for right now, this is definitely more of a level 1 stock, safe, low risk stock. I'm not expecting like a dollar move on this trade, but one thing you could look at here is on the weekly chart. Even I'll flip this back to a daily, but man, this thing has been on a steady decline. I mean, really, since the end of last year into this year, really straight through. That's pretty crazy. That is as slick of a downtrend as you could really look for. So, yeah, I mean, it ended up making a nice move this morning. If it fails to break back above the VWAP, or if it makes a false break above it, then perhaps look to see it make the test of a dollar first, and then see if it could rebounce from there. It may look to just come down there here pretty soon rather than moving back up to the VWAP first. So let's see what happens either at one of those prices. All right, so SPRC is on our main list here as well. BIAF, we just talked about. That's number 3 now. Got a bunch of cheapies here on the gainers list here, like 69-cent CLBS, like 19-cent TEU or TUEM. EOS here, EOSE, ended up making a big move in the after hours yesterday, but it looks like garbage since, right? It's just been kind of like squeezing lower and lower here across the pre-market. Um, yeah, not much interest on this trade just yet. If it pops after the morning here or after the market opens up, I'm sure we'll look to call it out. Got a good list so far, though, folks. I will tell you, though, aside from what we have thus far, the gainer side is like complete ghost town. Anything like around 5%, 5%. Look at the volume traded on it, like super low. That's not good. So I'm sure that we're going to find more buying opportunities aside from the three that we have later on this morning. Have to give the market a little while for it to simmer. Perhaps we'll catch a small bounce around 10:15, 10:30 Eastern time. All right, ALT. So we already talked about this one so far. Resistance off of 12, not just because as a whole number, but there was a bit of an order sitting out there on the ask earlier before this started to run up. I believe that order got pulled since, but I'd still count that to be resistance. I mean, it got pretty close just earlier here before the meeting started, but yeah, this one's already on our radar, already on our watch list. So we talked about CMRA, KSPN, what makes the top percent gainers list, makes the percent losers list. So natural gas pretty active this morning. UNG cold here, trending down really steadily. Hey, I'm not normally particular about the ETFs. If you personally have had good success consistently trading this cold ETF, then I suggest for you to put it on your personal watch list. Then, but notice how I phrase that though. If you haven't had consistent success on this stock, if it was like one trade and then that was it, that's not really consistent, folks. So if you are someone that frequently trades cold and does well on it, go at it. This looks like a really active one for this morning for you. But otherwise, I think that you should be more inclined, if not then otherwise, to follow ALT, BIAF, the SPRC, and the sideless stocks. I'm sure that we'll look at in just a moment here as well. Ooh, Square down big. I don't know if off of earnings or what. Let me just double check news here for Square. Block, I guess they're now called, right? Let's see. I don't have any specific news here this morning on Square. That's pretty odd. Benzinga Pro kind of slacking in that regard, but Square ended up making a big drop at least thus far early this morning in pre-market. Yeah, it was really just a pre-market move and that's it. But getting hit really hard right now, down over 5%. Could just be dropping off with weakness within the market. But right now, I'm going to put this on our watch list here. Square. Be a little bit more expensive. It'll trade a little thin volume on the book, but it's hard to not follow this here this morning. All right, what else we got here, folks? Now we're below 5% though, and this is just at 5%. So we're going to keep that on our list, but try and keep it above 5%. So X down 3%. That's not really making any good move right now. All right, there we go. You rang the bell. Congratulations to Chris on that ALT trade, who was in from 9:31. He got out at 11:35, taking profits right around that 9:15 time for him. Beautiful job, Chris. Excellent. Big shake down shortly after. So I personally always look to get out on trades the latest by like 9:15, the absolute latest. We got one of us on YouTube asking, hey, you think ALT will drop on the open? So that was asked just a little while ago, I must say, at 9:03 in the morning. So I did mention at least for as much as it moved up. And for those in a pre-market trade, you should be getting out, giving yourself that chance to breathe, giving the stock a damn chance to breathe, right? It just ran up and made that big squeeze. So you're not led to believe it's going to make a full-fledged recovery. God bless it if it does. We'll follow it. Should be happen to see higher highs, but you got to expect for this to pull back at some point. If not right when the market opens, then shortly prior to. All right, there we go, folks. Anything else? Up, down, left, right? I don't see anything else here. Up. Let me just check one stock. I'm back on my BS. I'm trading NEO again pretty much on a day-to-day basis this week. NEO ended up making a really good move back from Monday and even yesterday as the markets were dropping off at first. Hey, NEO is showing some pretty good strength, right? Look at that. Nice move up. So I'd be remiss to not include NEO with that recap from yesterday. So for this morning, it's not down enough, but it's a good sideless stock. I already prepped up my NEO chart, just so you know. I'm back on my usual. All right, folks. So with that in mind, we're going to wrap up here across the morning. If you wanted to continue the audio commentary inside our live trading room for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, feel more than free to go right down to the link on the blue banner below the stream right there to get yourself started. If not, totally okay. If you have any questions prior to joining us, feel more than free to email me. I always like to post my email here at the end of these streams, covering for Fausto as he is coming back from Florida today. He was doing an on-site event with Tom Busby, the great Tom Busby of DTI. So I know that he had a fantastic time showing level 3 and level 4 to their students in Orlando or nearby, I believe. But nonetheless, he'll be back tomorrow if I'm not mistaken. Any questions that you folks have, though, at least feel more than free to send over via email, josh@c2trading.com. But otherwise, though, for Leda and Grant and Michael and Chris, once again, congratulations to anyone on that ALT trade from this morning. Neil and Catherine and Felix. I look forward to talking to you folks all coming up shortly after the market opens. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9.